Alright, hello everybody, welcome back to iCommand, and we are here with some more Season 8 playtesting. We are now in week 2 of our Season 8 playtesting. So this is going to be a game that I played. This is not part of the playtesting league, this was just kind of a casual pickup late night game that I played against another one of our new players, or newer players, I should say. This is John, but he goes by, I believe it's Pwned on the Discord. And John just recently joined the community, I think. He actually has taken it on himself, though, to update the Tabletop Simulator mod for IACP in its original creator's absence. So, huge thank you to John, and sorry you had to play on Vassal against me, but you know, that is my preferred way to play. But yeah, definitely check out his module. I think it's linked in the description here. But anyway, we're playing a late night game, and I think I have the... Oops, I have the names in the wrong place. Let me switch that here. Because I am playing some Force Users, which is one of my favorite lists to play. Hasn't been super meta-relevant recently. I think there's been a lot of counterplay to it. A lot of lists that kind of hard-countered or soft-countered Jedis, but I think it's still fun. So I am playing Force User list featuring Kestis, who of course many of us will know from the recently released Jedi Survivor game. Of course, originally it's from Fallen Order game, which is where this card takes most of its inspiration from, although we did name him the Jedi Survivor in the subtitle, to say somewhat recent and topical. So I've got Cal Kestis. I also have Ahsoka and Ezra, so my list is pretty much built around making combos with Pummel. So Ahsoka and Ezra both get free movement outside of actions, so they make them very good at using Pummel as well. And Cal has a combo with To the Limit and All in a Day's Work that combos with his Wall Run special action that can help him to perform Pummel plus a movement as well. I've also got Saska and Dr. Aphra. So Saska is another new card from Season 8 that was recently updated, and I don't think we've actually gotten to see her in action in any of these videos yet, so I'm glad to be able to bring some Saska gameplay to you guys. And she is enabling Dr. Aphra to come into the list, which, again, another nice combo with Pummel. Since Pummel's a 1-point card, it means I can get repeated access to Pummel to play off of Ahsoka and Ezra, so hoping that will be strong. And then I've got Yoda and I actually have Gideon in this list, but and R2-D2. I didn't spawn Gideon. I actually accidentally had a 3PO from a previous build, so I deleted 3PO and added Gideon a little later in round 1. And I'm playing against John, who is trying out the Z6s, which came out, I believe, in Season 6 on an attachment, and they came out alongside the Echo Base Troopers. So this is a list that I feel like Jedis do have a hard time against, mostly because we've got the Echo Base Troopers here, whose Cortosis Weave ability cancels. It's basically a built-in Zillow that never exhausts. So not great for Jedis who really rely on that Pierce 3 to get their damage through, which is otherwise kind of mediocre. And then because they have these 3 activation figures along with the Z6s who can potentially attack twice, which for 4 attacks total with an activation, it's very tough for Jedis, because unless the Jedi has the last activation, it's very dangerous to wander out into the open where they can get attacked 4 times by these guys. And Jedis don't have the greatest defenses, to be honest. They get that 1 playoff of knowledge and defense, but that's about it. So he's got 2 of those. He's got 2 Echoes with 2 Z6s. He's also got Baze Malbus, Gideon, Argus, C-3PO, and R2-D2. And we are playing on the ISB headquarters, playing on the To Your Stations mission. So again, we're doing a little more variety in our map selection for playtesting. It's important to not just play on whatever the current rotation is, but go back and play on older maps and maps we haven't rotated in yet to see how all these figures are working in a very generalized sense across many different situations. So this map is, or this mission, we are trying to control these security stations, 3 of them here, here, and here. They're each worth 3 points at the end of the round if you control them. And if you control them, you can choose a figure in that station's line of sight to suffer 2 damage. Now that means that this station is worth a little more because it has a much better line of sight across the entire map. These two stations here, they are pretty limited. They can only see really here, out to here. So they don't do a lot of damage, but they are a little further off, and so they're easier to control safely. So John is starting with initiative here, which is great for me because I want to have last activation this round and first activation next round. So starting off, looks like he passes. I think he does pass, but I do start off with Ezra, who uses Brash to move up. I don't want to move him too far up, and I'm not sure yet if I want to open the door. What I'm trying to set up here, as you can see what I've done with my Ahsoka, is I've placed her so she can get to the security station with 2 movement points from Vigor and 6 movement from Force Leap, so that anything that John puts on this security station to control it, I'll be able to attack it with Ahsoka at the end of the round, and then hopefully attack it again at the start of the round, and then jump away to safety. So that's kind of how I like to play that list. And she is going to be very good with Saska, who is going to help, because Ahsoka's main problem is her dice pool is just not that great. I mean, it's fine, but for 7 cost, and that's the only attack she can do each round, it's not that great. So if you can reroll one of these bad dice into a red dice, and then you can even do the trick where you reroll one of them into a red, and then because it counts as rerolled, you can then use Twin Sabers to reroll the rest of her dice. You can get some really good damage control with her with the device token from Saska. So hoping we'll get to see that here in this game. So tokening up with extra armor. He's got 2 extra armors in his list, I forgot to mention that. 2 extra armors, and that's it. And I have Heroic Effort, and that's it. No Channel the Force, even though I do have Yoda. Because the reason I'm not playing Channel the Force with Yoda is I don't actually want to search for Force User command cards. I'm actually just trying to dig for my Pummels and my To the Limit cards. So I'm actually using Wisdom the way it was intended, is to just dig through the deck without increasing my hand size. I do have R2 as well, though. So yeah, Ezra going to move up there in case I do want to open the door. And I think if I recall, my Pummel was like at the bottom of my deck, both of them. So that's unfortunate, but then I realized I'm missing Gideon. So activate R2 and draw. Let's see, what's in my opening hand? So I've got To the Limit, Heart of Freedom, Knowledge and Defense, and Take Initiative. So I drew with R2, he's going to draw with his R2. So I activate Yoda, I draw Urgency, and I actually think I made a mistake here, because what I should have done is... So I now have to put a card on the bottom, so I think I don't need all of this extra movement right now, because I'm going to be doing mostly hit and run. I can't really just rush all my Jedi in. They'll get annihilated by these D6s and probably not kill these Echo Base Troopers very easily. So I think what I did is I put Heart of Freedom at the bottom, but the problem is I'm not getting any value off of my Afra for next round. There's not going to be anything to excavate, probably. So what I should have done is I should have kept Urgency. The other reason is Heart of Freedom, I don't really need it because Yoda has Calming Presence, so I don't need the stun clearing either. So what I should have done here is I should have put Heart of Freedom at the bottom, kept Urgency, played Urgency this round with Ahsoka, instead of... well, I guess that's true. It didn't matter. I still would have had to use Urgency and the 2 movement points from Vigor. So I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Just I felt really bad because I didn't actually get to use Afra for 2 rounds. I didn't even get to use her on the second round either. So I did put Urgency at the bottom though, and then Yoda moves up to be next to Ezra, and I'm going to create a nice little box here around Yoda in case John does decide to come down and open both of these doors. I have no interest in opening both of these doors, really. I'm going to be trying to attack him from this side. So let's see. Change back to player 3. There you can see all of Yoda's fun abilities. So I did focus up Ezra though, In hindsight, I should have focused up Cal. I think that was a mistake, but because the nice thing is that I was also setting up is Cal is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So Cal can also attack here if he uses his wall run ability. He can actually ignore this piece of blocking terrain. So if I use Heart of Freedom, I can get 2 movement points and then wall run to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, 7 up to here. So I should have focused Cal, but I think I was just wanting to make sure Ezra was focused up if he needed to, brash somewhere. So Gideon is going to focus. Oh, and there I moved Cal up so he doesn't even need a movement card now. He can just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now I have Cal and I have Ahsoka both threatening that security station. So John's going to pass here, and I activate Saska. So like I said, I'm giving the device token to Ahsoka with unstable devices. Then I move her up next to Yoda as well. Deciding I want to keep her kind of close to the action so that she can hand out tokens and also potentially attack if I need to. After I run over to the terminal where I think she'll be pretty safe. And then John doesn't move Baze next to security station. I would have loved Baze to be there and to be able to attack him. He is super strong. For 6 points, he has been quite powerful. He doesn't live very long unless they have a final stand, because he does really like to stand right in the middle of danger. Very thematic there, but he hits quite hard, especially when you can get both attacks off. Alright, so we've got the Echo Base Troopers activating, coming down this staircase, trying to angle for a shot probably. So activate Cal and decide, no, I don't want to put him there because he still has those other 2 Echoes and Z6 as his last activation for this round. So if I go up there with Cal now, he'll just get smoked by these Echoes and that Z6. So let's play it safe. Let's play it so that I'm not giving him any free attacks on my figures and really utilizing that last activation. Alright, so now we're going to go with Ahsoka as my last activation. She's focused and has a device token as symbolized by the little crate on her figure there. So I'm going to use Vigor for 2 movement points and then Force Leap. So now I'm contesting the security station and I'm going to get an attack here. So I'm going to re-roll the blue into a red. So basically adds a damage. And then I use Twin Sabers here to re-roll the rest of the attack dice. And get a much better roll because I don't want that extra surge, because the Pierce is, surge for Pierce 1 is just not what I'm looking for with my surges. So I do 6 damage here to this Echo Base Trooper. And I think I drew a Force Surge here, which is unfortunate. I would have liked to have had that to finish off the Echo Base Trooper there. Now I have to worry about Call the Vanguard. Here it comes. So Call the Vanguard being played by... let's see. So he tries to use it on the Z6 here. A3, but that doesn't have line of sight to Ahsoka. He also tries to play Element of Surprise, but we had to learn that Element of Surprise only works during an activation because of the way it's worded at the start of this activation. So he instead goes with R5, the focused trooper, Echo Base Trooper. And he does play Concentrated Fire to add a red die, which he can totally do. So playing Concentrated Fire. I play Knowledge and Defense. So I find Knowledge and Defense often just adds like one block, or very rarely 2. So 6 damage, so 4 damage total. Oh, he did forget to play the red die with Concentrated Fire. Tries to play Overwhelming Impact, which the Z6s can play, but the Echoes cannot. They are not heavy weapons. There's that red die. So can't play Overwhelming Impact, so that is going to be 5 damage. Not bad. Oh, that was the other thing, is he forgot to use Frontline there, so he could have swapped the blue die for a red, which probably would have done maybe like 1 more damage, so I don't think it was a huge deal that he forgot that, because he got a good roll on that green and that blue die there. So let's see. Oh, wait a second. Did John have initiative to start? I think we forgot to move the initiative token, and then I played my take initiative. Oops, that was on me. So wasted my take initiative there, but alright, no problem. Go for the kill here on the Echo Base Trooper with Afra, or not with Ahsoka, I mean. And then he plays of no importance. Yeah, that's always a fun feeling when you work really hard to get a kill and then you didn't get anything for it. So 0 points for me for that setup, but at least he's 1 Echo Base Trooper down. And Ahsoka moving back to the safety behind Afra and R2-D2. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a card here. Let's see, did I find... I don't think I find Pummel yet. So I drew Force Surge, Reverse Engineer, and then I just drew Force Rush. So not a bad one to get. John activates R2, I activate Yoda, draw some more cards. I draw Dying Lunge with Yoda's Wisdom. And I think I sent back... So this time I do send back Heart of Freedom, instead of sending back like Force Rush, because again I want to have something I can excavate with Afra for round 3. We're going to focus up more figures, focusing up Echo Base Trooper. Alright, activate Saska, giving a device token to Kestis. Also really good on Cal. If you get a really bad roll on one of those yellows, you can re-roll it into a red. Gideon going to focus Callus. So Callus is going to be my end of round activator this time. So Baze going to open the door for John. Okay, so that puts his Baze in an interesting spot. So now, yeah, now he's moving his figures down to the security station. I think if he had done this 1 round earlier, if he had done this round 1, he would have been way ahead against me, 6 VPs up. Okay, so now I see the attack on... So now he just has R7 and R5 left, because I killed the other R Echo Base Trooper. So last activation for me. Interestingly, it looks like he actually has last activation on me this round because I had to play Take Initiative. So I have Initiative and I was down on activation. Even though I think he had Initiative round 1, so I think we messed that up anyway. Alright, so Cal activating. So we're going to see Cal do his thing here. So we're going to play Force Rush, gain 2 movement points. And then Wall Run allows him to bypass that blocking terrain square that was next to Yoda. And now we're going to play Reverse Engineer to attack the unactivated Z6, so I can prevent it from activating this round. And then I just have to take an attack from the unfocused Echo Base Trooper. So that gives me an extra surge. These Z6s have 8 health. He spends the block token, I believe. Yep, spends the block token. And I do have a reroll, so it looks like I reroll... Because I didn't use the device token on Ahsoka's attack. So device token rerolls are once per round, no matter how many tokens you have in play. So yeah, I do... Oops, I rerolled too many dice. So unfortunately, I lost a surge to get a 1 damage on the red. So, but I do end up doing 8 damage, Pierce 3, exactly what I need to finish off that Z6 in one hit. And I get my points. And now I'm able to use Force Surge here for my last movement to get me down next to the security station to control that and deal some damage to this Echo Base Trooper. Takes 2 damage and discarded... what did he discard? Discarded his Take Initiative. Oh no, discarded his collateral damage. There we go. For the strain from Force Surge. And that's the end of round 2. Oh no, he still has his Echo Base, so the Echo Base does get to contest here. And then is going to attack Cal. And I believe this time he remembers to use Frontline. And let's see, 3 damage, so able to stop that surge for +2, which is nice. But yeah, Cal is a little bit squishy in terms of he doesn't really have any built-in defense bonuses. He has a decent health stat, 14 health for 7 points is good, but you gotta be really careful about just leaving him out there to soak up damage. Alright, let's see what I draw here for my end of round draw. Force Push and Negation. And now he gets 6 VPs from the security stations. I excavate Force Rush with Afra. I brash up to the door, so now that I have Force Push, I realize I can, if I put Ezra next to the door, I can open the door, use Force Push to grab Baze and attack him. I think this round ended up being really interesting. Oh, and I also was able to use Force Slow here. Let's see if I can get back to this. So here's where Force Slow comes in. Force Slow comes in handy. Who did I Force Slow on? On A3. So I Force Slowed the Z6, so he can't activate first, even though John's got initiative. And that Echo Base Trooper was not focused. So what he did was he activated Gideon Argus instead. He focused up the Echo Base Trooper, and then he went for an attack on Cal. And does pretty good. I think it does 3 damage there. But that shows you how strong Force Slow can be. Can sort of give you pseudo initiative sometimes almost, where, you know, if Cal comes in and attacks last, you can prevent somebody from getting the jump on Cal in the next round, and then it gives him time to run away. So plays Force Rush from Excavate, moves down 1 space. I'm gonna go for the attack here on the 6 health remaining Echo Base Trooper, who spends a block token. But I have the device token, so I do go for the reroll here. I reroll the yellow into a red. Again, trying to avoid those surges, so because my Pierce is just not going to be helpful here. So I do 6, so I think I do 2 damage to him, bringing him down to 4 health, and then I wall run back to safety, next to Yoda. Here comes that Echo Base Trooper. Going to go for Afra here. Luckily, I used her Excavates round to get that Force Rush, so I don't have to worry about that. I'm going to play Element on Afra, focused Echo Base with Frontline. Very strong. Does a nice clean 7 damage thanks to Element of Surprise, and Afra is taken out in 1 shot by that focused Echo Base Trooper. So I decided I need to draw more cards. I really need to find my Pummel. Let's see, I'm down to just 6 cards in the deck. I think I draw it here. I draw one of them here. Nope, I drew all in a day's work. So and Pummels are both Pummels in the bottom 5. And now I'm just really scared that he moves Baze out of the way and where I can't force grab him anymore with Force Push. So activates R2-D2. It's gonna Scomp. So now I activate Yoda, and I finally draw with Wisdom the Pummel. So now I have a plan, right? I can force push and pummel with Ezra, as long as I do it right. What did I put on the bottom? Oh, I put to the limit on the bottom because I have all in a day's work, so I don't need to limit. Especially since my 2 Jedi... Well, I guess I have Ahsoka. Alright, C-3PO moves next to Baze. He played fleet-footed to get there, but I am worried about taking initiative next round, so I want to keep my negation. Alright, now I make a mistake a bit here. So I activate Ezra. I spend an action to open the door. Player 3. Then I play Force Push to move Baze towards me. And then I try to pummel, which doesn't work because unfortunately I am out of actions, right? I spend an action to open the door, so I don't have the 2 actions I need. And he's not a technician, so unfortunately I can't use all in a day's work from opening the door, which would have been great. Although that wouldn't actually work because I wouldn't have a chance to play Force Push, so that doesn't work either. So I realize, oops, I cannot do that, so back up. Thankfully John lets me take back that activation. And I go ahead and just activate Ahsoka here to kill the Echo Base. And redraw Knowledge and Defense. Activate Argus, and now I have Saska up next to the door. Activates Echo Base Troopers, keeps them on the security stations, and now he has the other Z6 on the 3rd security station, so he has full map control, and I'm trying to just whittle down his figures without losing my important ones. So I activate Saska, I open the door, and now what I could have done here is I could have focused her with all in a day's work and attacked and try and gone for a focus attack on 3PO, but I really wanted to keep that card and try it with Kestis and Pummel. That was the whole point of playing this list, so instead, because what I could have done is I could have opened the door, attacked, and then move her back to safety. So instead I just go for the raw, unfocused attack on 3PO here. And as we can see from her surge abilities, they are quite strong now. So surge for +2, surge for +1. So I've got 5 damage on the dice against 1 block. He needs to reroll, and he does not get it, so I actually one-shot 3PO there with Saska. Oh, and I give a device token to Ezra, even though I've already used my device token this round. And okay, so now the cool thing here is, now I know that Baze can only move 1 space away, and he's 2 spaces away from Ezra. So if he tries to use Assault to attack me twice here, he won't be able to get far enough away to escape the Force Push plus Pummel combo. So I just have to survive both attacks with Ezra. And he does get 2 damage power tokens. So let's see what happens here with Baze. Oops, that's a door. I do have knowledge and defense, but I don't have on the lamb. And I play it here on the first one since this is going to be the focused attack, and so I just really want to survive this one and hope that he either retreats or doesn't get the kill with the second attack. And I get the triple block and the dodge, so no damage to Ezra. And I deal 4 damage back to Baze with Yoda's Force Deflect. Then he just remembers that... So he does retreat Baze, so I thought that's what he might do. But then he reveals that he actually forgot that Baze has Assault, so... We go for the second attack! Second attack on Ezra. Ezra rolls a nothing. So he does go for the Blast and Cleave. So 5 damage to Ezra, Blast to everyone, and to Saska and Yoda, and then Cleave 2 onto Saska. So pretty darn good. Alright, and now he can't get away with that one movement point, so force push him over, and let's go for the pummel. Focus pummel with Yoda and Cal to use much to learn. He does spend the block token. Where's my guy Ezra? So he's down to 7 health, so I could actually do 7 Pierce 3 here and kill him. But I actually don't want to do that. So much to learn lets me change the yellow die. I don't want to kill him because I want to get the extra recover from the second attack, so I choose not to spend the surge for the +2 damage. So I recover to redraw knowledge and defense and go for the second attack. And he does get the 3 block, but yeah, much to learn lets me add 2 surges by changing that yellow die. So I still get the kill, and I get to recover off all the damage that Ezra took. He does play Final Stand here, though. So even though he's activated, he can still use it to make an attack. He's going to attack Saska, who dodges. So 2 dodges back-to-back, pretty much. Not lucky for John at all. And I go up to 17. And John still controls all of the stations though, so he's actually leading 19 to 17 here at the end of round 3. And does 2 damage to Saska with the security station. And going into round 4, I now have initiative. I excavate, force push. I use brash with Ezra. And I negate the take initiative from John here. So now what I wanted to do is to get this combo off with Cal of wall run into all in a day's work into pummel. So I drew my second copy of pummel, so I wall run, I all in a day's work to get a free action, which then lets me use that action plus my remaining action to pummel. So I'm going to get 2 attacks on this Z6. So 6 Pierce 3. Second attack, 3 Pierce 3, which gives me the kill there. Puts me at 22. And another dodge for Saska against that Echo. And another! Just so ridiculous. I definitely burned all my dodges this game. And I use Yoda to deal 3 damage to A2. And now Gideon comes down and is going to try and finish off Saska, but he is short 1 accuracy, so another miss. So Saska is just tanking all these attacks. And now Saska is going to activate, going to move over to control the security station there. And at this point, I just need to clean up some of his figures. So Ahsoka comes out, plays planning, and then moves up to attack Gideon to finish him off for 3 more. And then I activate Ezra to attack this 3 health Echo-based trooper. He has now a reroll since I moved Saska into position there, and that is going to kill the Echo base. And then I force push the other Echo-based trooper off of the security station, and we call it GG there, 38 to 19. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Got to see Cal Kestis do his thing, some combo plays with Pummel, and I have to go. So thanks everybody for watching. See you later.